So hi, welcome to Noise Podcast. I'm Shane,
I'm Glory.
and we're here with.
And I'm Harry, also known as Moonwalker.
I have some questions to say about the upcoming album, Apocalypticism. So congrats on that, by the way. How do you feel about the response to the announcement so far?
Yeah, great. That song has been received very well, so that's awesome. Obviously, it's the title track of the record. Yeah, I'm very excited for people to hear the whole thing.
Oh yeah, the album
yeah.
rocks.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much.
Oh yeah, of course.
Of course. So, is there any meaning behind the album title or cover art?
I guess throughout the record, there's a lot of like kind of apocalyptic sort of lyricism, but I think that like the general the most general theme that I could say is just kind of the belief that rather than there being this kind of one big day where the apocalypse will happen, we're kind of um, living through it a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, I think it'll probably be a little bit more gradual than people think it will, and that we're probably maybe a little bit deeper into it than people think, which is the meaning of the word apocalypticism, just being that usually there would be like a religious, I guess it doesn't have to be religious, but something that kind of comes in and interjects and ends things very suddenly. So kind of like the idea of the record is sort of just that that's not so much a thing, really. You know, that's not really so much how the end of the world or the apocalypse or what anything like that will happen. It's going to be way more us causing it gradually, and we're already kind of doing a pretty good job of that. If that makes
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. So can you tell us a little bit about your writing process for this album?
Yeah, I guess not so different than my other ones. I make my music just like, you know, at my apartment, pretty much by myself the entire time. And yeah, I kind of just like messing with things until they feel complete to me. I guess the biggest difference would just be I lived in New York throughout the creation of this record. Just like I made my other two records, same place, same apartment, same studio, and all that. So I'm sure that had to have impacted it. But it didn't feel different to me, if that makes sense. It felt like like a continuation of the others. But I'm sure that like in a couple years, kind of I'll be able to factor that in and see how it influenced it differently.
Makes sense.
Makes sense. So, what song off this album took the longest to write, and which one is your personal favorite?
Oh, dang. I guess so. The one that took longest to write, I don't know if this answers the question, I guess, because so there's a song called Singing for No One. And I wrote like that entire first verse. And so like the piano thing that the whole song is sort of built on, I wrote that like a long time ago, like during my first record or like maybe before. And then kind of just forgot about it, never finished it, never had a chorus I really liked. And then this is something that happens to me a lot. I'm sure to anyone who makes music, where like I'll sort of be messing around on the piano or the guitar or whatever, and I'll like accidentally rewrite it. You know what I mean? Like I'll be like, this thing seems right, and then I'll be like, wait, that only seems right because it exists. And then I have the moment of panic where it's like, is this something I wrote that I forgot about, or did I accidentally just like steal this from someone? And I realized it was something that I had already written before. And so then like a year and a half, 2 years later, I finished it. But it's not like I was like, you know, messing with it in between that. It was just like, I wrote it one day, couldn't really do anything about it, forgot about it, and then just like kind of rediscovered it a long time later. It didn't take that long to come up with the verse, nor did it take that long to write the song. But there was a really long gap between those two things, I guess.
Okay. And did you have a song where like there wasn't like a huge gap, but you were spending a lot of time and energy like on that song trying to crack it? Or did it come naturally? That's
a good question. I'm trying to think. I guess maybe the one that would have taken the longest was American Dream, just because I wrote like I actually wrote, that was like, I like wrote a song, kind of scrapped it, didn't like it, kept elements of it, like kept the sample and like oddly like the harmony, the American dream come true, like that harmony. Like I floated a couple things in, did a new thing, scrapped it again, same kind of situation. And then I guess from the second version of the song, I had the chorus and I brought that over. So like that one, again, it probably didn't take more than a few days, but it was a lot of way more reworking than I would ordinarily do.
Okay,
Gotcha.
that makes sense.
Gotcha.
And your favorite off the record?
Probably Apocalypse Now. I really, really
Title
like
track.
that one.
Oh,
Cool.
yeah. All right.
Yeah, cool.
So how'd the track list for the album come about? Did you write the opener be the opener, close be a closer, just shuffle around and see what fit? What was that process like?
Oh, good question. Mostly I shuffled it around. The opener I knew would be the opener though. I wanted like I found this like sample. It's literally just like a clap or a kick or something or a snare. It's like ten, 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 and it just like felt right to me. It felt like, I mean, what the song ended up becoming, but it felt like that would be kind of the second part of the song, if that makes sense. Like there would be kind of a long like intro, and then it would go into that. So as soon as I found that sample, I was like, I know for a fact this is going to be like intro to the record, and then this will be kind of like the turnaround for the song. So I knew that as I was writing it. It ended up being the last one I wrote, and I had like other songs. Well, I wrote songs after that I thought would be on the record, and then they just weren't right for the record. So after that I kind of had to switch it around. Like it was definitely nothing else was planned. But that one would be the opener, and then I think when I had the opener, then I had some clarity as to like where the record would be. So I guess sort of a mixture. I knew that one. The other ones I had no idea, but it was just like kind of messing around with it till it felt right.
Makes sense. You mentioned like you had other songs written that wound up not making the cut. Was it because like they didn't fit the vibe and like kind of what you're talking about on the record, or was it because you set out to have like an album with X amount of tracks? Because there is only 8 songs on the record.
Yeah. Definitely like the first thing that you said. It actually has happened to me every time where like there's no like break between making records, and there's also no kind of like mental like, okay, I did this, now I'm doing this. There's not really any kind of like thing like that. It just like every time I'll like write a song or two, and then I'll be like, okay, well these are cool, but they like don't fit with these ones. Like I'll be trying to kind of work them into the track list, and it just isn't right. So that's kind of when I'm like, well, maybe that means I'm done. Maybe because like the things that I'm writing, I like. It's not like it feels wrong or something. It feels right. It feels like the right direction. It just doesn't really fit with all these other songs that I also like and want to release. So that's kind of been my indicator every time. I actually wanted it to be a longer record. Like I did a 7-track record, then a 10-track record. I wanted to do like a 13-track record, just keep going up in increments of 3. Not indefinitely, but you know, like that would be at some point where it's like a
at some point it has to stop.
You know?
Exactly. Yeah. It's got it's like a bell curve. I'll start going down in increments of 3.
Oh, shit.
But it was, I think I was like, I knew that was stupid, and I was like, I'm not going to force this, but we'll try. So that was kind of the only mental blockade sort of I had to get over when I was like, okay, I want these songs, but they don't fit on the record. I was like, maybe just abandon this stupid fucking 13-track idea and just let it be. Because I had been talking to my friend also. I don't know if like, you know, TikTok has done my attention span in or something like that. But whenever I open a record, if I hear a song I like and I open a record and it's got more than like 13, 14 songs, I get like an anxiety attack. It's like, there's literally no fucking chance I'm going to sit through this. Like I immediately like I'm overwhelmed. So I kind of like, it would be a little disingenuous for me as a listener to not be able to withstand more than 10 songs and to release like an hour and a half long record, you know, because the songs are long. So it's like a 40-minute record or something, even though it's very few songs.
Yeah. And you mentioned there's like not really a break for you in your writing process where it's like you finish something, but then you kind of move right on to the next one. And I know you've recently kind of started touring. Does that give you the chance to kind of have that writing break, or are you writing when you're on the road as well?
Yeah, that's a good, I guess oddly that sort of actually gives me, I guess, the ability to have a break, just because like usually I was just like, I gotta make music, that's all I do. And then now like I'll get back from tour and I'll be like, okay, I kind of wanted to be at home and kind of just like not do stuff, you know. So that kind of it's been a bit since I wrote because of that, because it was just like, you know, touring, and then I was so exhausted, and then now I'm kind of like, all right, let's get productive again because I've got a while till the next tour. So that kind of actually gave me the opportunity to be like, here's the record. What do I want to do next? I've got some time to kind of think about things, think about whether I want to, you know, change the process of the record or rent a studio or something like that. More like I have like more resources this time. So now I can kind of think about that. I wasn't really writing on the road because I guess it's just like you're either in the car or like or tired.
And
So I
like at the
like,
level you're at, you're kind of like doing most of it yourself, so there isn't really like a break to like you have to yourself to like fuck off.
exactly.
Yeah.
I don't have like a van where I can like have a guitar out in the back or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, and if I did, I'm sure that people would be really annoyed if I chose to do that. So
They'd be like,
not
please, we're
saying that
away from the
that's, like,
fucking music. Please stop.
yeah, exactly. We have heard enough Moonwalker. This is crazy.
Yeah.
And also, because you're kind of approaching starting to write again, are you a little, I guess, is it a little daunting kind of going back into that since you kind of broke your cycle of always writing? Are you able to kind of get back into the flow of it? Or is it kind of like riding a bike where it's like you just kind of have to keep going?
Yeah, no, probably like that. It's like I've always known about one of the I've kind of forced myself to not stop writing because it is like with probably any creative thing when you've been doing it a lot, it's really easy to kind of access that space and whereas like if you've not done it for a while, it can become kind of like daunting. Like, where do I begin? How do I kind of like it's like pushing the rock up the hill,
The
just like,
fucking meme,
like
yeah.
exactly. It's like
Yeah.
if you haven't done it in a while, it's like, oh my god, this is such a long hill. Like this is going to be so much. Where do I begin? How do I start? Whereas like when you're kind of like in the habit of doing things and making things and kind of every day you go, you try, it's like easier, you know what I mean? Whereas like right in this particular moment, it's been like a little while since I've done a song. So anytime I go start one, it's like, well, what type of sounds am I even like interested in right now? You know what I mean? Like what even instrument is going to inspire me? Like it's kind of hard to know where to begin, but then you make like a shitty song and then you're back in the groove and then you're kind of off to the races to make good songs,
Yeah.
So I've kind of just got to like rip the Band-Aid off one of these days and force myself to finish something that I might not be that excited about, just so I can remember how to finish a song.
Exactly. Okay. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So would you be able to tell us where your headspace is at while you were creating this record?
Yeah, for sure. Dang, I'm trying to think, I guess. Just right off the bat feels more positive, I guess. I was not that happy for the other records. And this was like my first time, not that this was like my first time kind of having like a career with Moonwalker and like people who I knew would like listen to the record when it's out. When I was making it, and that didn't affect me making it like in that way. It was more just kind of like, I don't know, when you're sort of worried about like, you'll always worry about things, but there's like a difference between worrying about like, oh, what's my next step, and like, is my life alive? Is this going to work out? Do I have to regroup and try? Like that can weigh very, very, very heavily on you in a way that doesn't kind of in a non-beneficial way. In my like, pressure can sometimes be beneficial, the right, but sometimes it's like this is just like distracting pressure. And so this was kind of my first time not having to be like, am I gonna have to move home? Like, am I gonna have to quit? Am I gonna have to do something else? Like, what am I gonna? Is anyone gonna hear this? Is this? It was. I could kind of just like remove those. I didn't really factor in like, oh, what are my fans going to want to hear? Or what am I? I didn't really factor. It didn't affect me in that way. But it's just kind of like nice to. I can have all the things that I worry about in a day, but it's nice to not worry that like I'm gonna have to leave my entire life behind because it just didn't work out for me. You know what I mean? It's nice to have this kind of security of like, wow, it's a career, it's a thing. I'm set for the month. Like I don't have to worry about money. Where like now I can just kind of make an album. That can be the only thing I care about.
Yeah,
that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's got to be like a refreshing headspace to be in after a couple records of like being like, am I going to be able to eat this month?
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny you say I haven't even thought about that until being asked that question right there. Like it's not like I was like, oh, now I get to make record. And I don't. I was just like when I would like, I think coming up to releasing the second record, I was like, damn, thinking about this record makes me like depressed because I was really not happy when I made it. Like all I think about is how unhappy. And now looking back at this one retrospectively, it doesn't feel that way at all. It feels like, yeah, that was fun. I have a lot of fun memories in that room right there, making these songs and showing these songs to my friends for the first time and hearing their reaction. It's all just like fun, it's a good memories. Not that the subject matters, I guess, much better. It's less negative on a personal level, I think. You know what I mean? Like my other record was a little negative, like about myself and stuff. And this one is like commentary on the world. And we're not in a fantastic spot, so the commentary is a little depressing, but it's not like so much about kind of my own personal turmoil and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
So
Um,
just writing preference wise, I'm sorry, Shane.
yeah.
Do you prefer to write commentary versus kind of like personal experience?
That's a good question. I guess I never think about like what I'm gonna write, you know, like it just kind of it just happens. And that's also I think why like there's never a song that's about like one thing, you know, people are it's like, oh, is this about like the insurrection or is this about the what and it's like there could be a lyric about it or like the
Mhm.
general theme of the song could have stemmed from a very specific instance or something like that.
Yeah.
But I kind of just like whatever happens happens. So like in pretty much every song I'd say there's at least a little bit of commentary and at
Mhm.
least a little bit of this is just like about me
Yeah.
and it probably goes a lot of different directions where like you know I guess just as an example like I have a song called The Price of Life Itself and a lot of people think it's like about the police and that makes
Mhm.
sense because there's like a verse and maybe like half of a chorus that definitely is
Yeah.
but there is also a verse that is definitely not remotely about it and a bridge that is you know like there's like parts of the song that's blatantly not about that, parts of the song
Mhm.
that's blatantly about that. And the
Yeah.
general theme of the song is more kind of just like a systemic commentary on just like the system of law enforcement and government and everything like that in a very general sense. But like a specific part can be kind of about a sort of myopic issue, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. But I do think that it would feel if I were to make a song that had like literally no commentary whatsoever on
Mhm.
anything, I would probably not even release it as Moonwalker. I'd probably like release it under like a different name, like Harry Springer or something like that. It
Mhm.
does feel at this point like not that I would ever force it, you know, but like it does feel at this point like it would be kind of a betrayal
Mhm.
of Moonwalker if it had nothing to say about
Mhm.
the world, you
Yeah,
know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
that makes sense. All right.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So how do you recommend your fans to listen to this album for the first time? Should do it in the car with friends, in the dark with headphones on? Is it a workout album, party album? What do you personally recommend?
Dang, good question. I guess I love the idea of listening in the dark with headphones. Like I don't know, I don't even personally do this, so it is but I do love the idea of I would
Mhm.
have said 5 years ago when I was like insanely passionate about consuming albums and all that, like definitely like get it on vinyl and whatever,
Mhm.
all these things. Now it's like, I don't know, it is what it is. I'm really happy with all the songs. I do put effort definitely into making the record flow, not just like making every song kind of this leads into this one, but also like direct transitions and
Mhm.
direct kind of callbacks and using of like the same sample in a different way sometimes just to kind of create make it so that it is a rewarding listen if you choose to listen to it like that. But
Mhm.
like my favorite album of all time is The Wall. But if I were to hear The Wall for the first time today, I would probably grade it differently based on the fact that if you were to like shuffle that album,
Mhm.
90% of it would not even be a song. It would be just like
Mhm.
sound bites that make no fucking sense whatsoever.
Mhm.
I think a record, if you put it on shuffle, maybe you don't get like the full effects, but it shouldn't be like a mess. Yeah,
Yeah.
it should still be like
Absolutely.
song after song after song. And so I do care about that now. So like even if you want to just kind of like open up the record and listen to the songs with names that interest you, that should be enough. It shouldn't be like a mess that makes no sense whatsoever and you don't know what you just listened to.
Yeah.
But I do put work in to make it worthwhile listening to the
Mhm.
whole thing. You know, if that makes sense. Like it's not a requirement, but I do think that if you're going to release a record, because like
Mhm.
from a business perspective, releasing only singles is probably better. So if you're even gonna do an album, you might as well make it like worthwhile. You might as well make it like an album that is worth something rather than
Yeah.
just like a combination of songs. Because otherwise,
Abs-
just like, release the songs and people will pay more attention to
Absolutely.
it anyway. You know?
Exactly. And those records are always so overwhelming because it's like then the fan base is like you have to know the lore, you have to listen to it 5 times in a row and then listen to it backwards and then
Yeah,
it's
well,
like, dude, I just want
Yeah,
to listen to the
and the
music.
fans are like, no,
it should
you'll
be
get
good
it
the first
after the
time.
sixth listen. It's like, no, fuck off. How's that sound? I don't want to get it after the sixth listen.
Exactly. Yeah.
I would like for it to be better after. Like I want to get
Exactly.
something new every time, but like the first listen has to still be good.
I
Like I
should
still
get
have
it.
to
Yeah.
want to listen to it again. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Fuck yeah. So this one should be super, super quick off top of your head. I want you to describe this album for new listeners in 3 words. No more, no less.
Apocalypse feels right, just right off the bat.
Yeah.
Um, uh, let's see here. Apocalypse. Um, ADD,
Okay.
because I would say this record more than any other, I really like kind of, sometimes I'm like, it has to make sense. It has to make sense. This time it's really like, this is a crazy sound and it kind of works. And if I like it tomorrow, it'll stay in the song. Less like every part needs to have a purpose and every part needs to just, I'm kind of just like letting there be weird sounds because they make my brain feel good, you know? So
Absolutely.
ADD, Apocalypse, and um not overwhelmed and
Well,
what's the word for not overwhelming? Approachable, manageable,
Approachable.
I guess.
There you
Yeah.
go. I love approachable. That's a good
Yeah,
one.
it's
Yeah.
approachable. It's not like it's definitely I definitely want it to be like to get better every listen, but it's not like some kind of really, really like it's a
Yeah.
process and you gotta
Yeah.
read
You
about
got
it
to
and
read
you
the
gotta do
book.
the song. Exactly. You gotta have the lyrics up and you gotta do
Yep.
like you should just be able to throw it on and enjoy it. But
Hmm.
if you want to put more into it, you can also get more out of it, you know.
oh yeah,
Absolutely.
oh yeah.
Hmm.
So can you talk about any particularly challenging or standout moments from the creation of this album, positive or negative?
Yeah, dang. Okay, I'm trying to think. Um, hmm. Apocalypticism was tricky just because there's very little in the song, like literally just like very few tracks in the song outside of the intro, which has like 1,000 vocals
Mhm.
things, but like the song itself once with okay, actually that's probably a new thing. The beginning of that song is stacked. There's like so much shit going on and so many layers and stuff.
Hmm.
And then the rest of the song is very bare. Like there's not very much happening whatsoever. And it was really kind of, but I didn't want there to be like, you know, like all the ways that you can kind of spruce up a song, like pads or samples or something like that. Well, there is a sample, but I guess like, you know, sampling the kick or the snare to make it bigger or something like that. I didn't want any of that because I did want it to feel like a kind of straightforward, like power trio, garage rock, like Queens of the Stone Age thing.
Yeah.
But it is a little hard sonically to kind of take something with literally 23 vocal tracks and then go to something that has 4 tracks, period, and
Hmm.
have it not feel like we just lost a shit ton of body and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
So that was hard. Usually, like, I put a lot of work into the mix, and then when I have my friend mix it, he doesn't have to do the most. He kind of just puts like his significantly better plugins and significantly better everything, and there's no revisions usually. This one we had to go back. There was a lot of mix revisions just because like I didn't do as much work on the mix. I was kind of like, you're going to do better than me. So let's see. So that one was a bit of a struggle and kind of even just like second guessing, like, I don't know, is it enough to have the same guitar riff over and over without anything being added in? So
Hmm.
that one was just in general a bit tricky. Apocalypse Now was, oh, here's a moment that was hard. In Apocalypse Now, there's that whole bridge thing, like second half of the song type thing. And every time the progression repeats, it changes keys, like it descends a whole step.
Hmm.
And I thought that that was really cool when I was doing the instrumental.
Yeah.
And then when I was writing the vocals, it was like a nightmare. Like it was a nightmare to write the melody.
Mhm.
I love it, and it's like my favorite part of the whole record. But that was like probably the most frustrating 3 hours that I spent in the studio of like my entire life because like
Yeah.
it was just like so I'd have to like pick up the guitar and be like, okay, am I tuning this wrong? Like because like obviously Melodyne is showing this in the key of whatever C major, and now we're in the key of like fucking B flat major, and it's just
Hmm.
like I have to ignore all the visual cues. I have to ignore all of the notes that I've gotten used to being right. I didn't really write the melody. I kind of just fucked around until it felt right, and
Mhm.
Yeah.
it was like really. I'm a very like logical person when it comes to kind of melodyning and melodies and stuff, and I had to not be very logical
Mm.
um, for that. Well, I had to be logical, but also sort of going against
Everything you've been taught.
what would normally be my
Yeah.
logic.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
guess.
yeah.
Gotcha. So for this question, I want you to picture you're on tour. You're at a gas station for a rest stop. You're going in. What is your snack of choice?
Ooh, that so I get crazy snacks. I like a crazy snack that I've never heard of. That's like it's
Mhm.
actually egregious. Like I'll go into gas stations and by the end of the tour there will be like 35 bags of chips that we tried like one chip and then determined that it was disgusting. And
Yeah, I know how it
it's
goes.
like I don't know that these are the best. Okay, actually, in doing that, in trying bullshit, I found a couple things that are good. Like salted caramel bugles are insanely good.
I didn't know that was a thing.
They're so good. They're
I gotta
incredible.
try that. Yeah.
Also, cinnamon toast crunch bugles. Although you've really got to be at a weird rest stop for that one. Like you got to luck out with that one.
I thought Bugles was just the fucking cheddar cheese one. I thought that was it. I thought it started and ended there.
Bugles go absolutely crazy. All of their middle America kind of crazy flavors that they've got.
Yeah.
But then there's a lot of bad ones, but they're more fun to talk about anyway. Like there was like ketchup Doritos.
Ew.
That was terrible. I didn't get this one, but like BLT flavored Lay's.
Yeah, I've seen
what
those.
What are other crazy?
I would try that. I would try that.
What's crazy about the BLT is like, so how do they like replicate like the bread? Or for instance, there's like a buffalo chicken sandwich one. I understand like buffalo chicken, but like, what's the sandwich element of that? Like, how do you replicate bread? Yeah, bread and like lettuce. Like,
the lettuce part. Yeah.
I don't understand how we're getting that flavor, but so those are fun.
Mm-hmm. They're always so bad. They're fun, but they always suck. Like I always feel like I wasted $4 when I buy the big bag of them, expecting them to be good.
It was
but
it
never stops me from doing it again.
Yeah,
exactly.
I always do it.
Yeah.
We did one thing I'll give a shout out to because I got a churro Kit Kat.
Ooh,
and we were all so excited to try it.
Shit's good.
And then it like melted, like inedible melted. And we were so bummed we didn't get to try it. And so then we bought another one at the next gas station. And then we left it at the venue. So nobody has yet to try the churro Kit Kat, but we have, I mean, like, maybe I even feel like I might have bought it 3 times total, but I have never tried it. So shout out to that one. That's the elusive snack that I still need to try.
Fingers crossed you get to try it on this next run.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know.
Obviously, it's accessible enough. There's definitely some snacks that I've encountered like one time. Yeah. And I don't know where it came from. I don't know where it is. I don't know the story, but like that one I've encountered. It's like a on the tier list of like commonality. It's on like the second tier probably.
The second tier. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So for the last couple of questions, we're going to shift completely away from music and go straight to death row.
Boom.
So if you're on death row, what would your last meal be with drink?
Man, I was just asked this, and my takeaway from the question was everybody like gave an answer. They were like, "I'll take like appetizer from here," and I was like, "What the fuck? Like, you have this shit like ready to go?"
Exactly.
Like, I was just like, probably this restaurant from my childhood, and then people were like, "I'll take the Burger King fries and the bliss and the this," and I'm like, "That's crazy." So unfortunately, I don't have an answer like that, which is pathetic because I've actually thought about the fact that I don't have an answer before, and I've put like a lot of actual thought into that, but no thought into what my answer actually is. I guess though, there's a breakfast burrito at a place called One Fold in Colorado. I would want that in some capacity. And there's a wing place in Colorado called Fire on the Mountain, and they have this like raspberry habanero sauce.
Ooh,
I would want those. Good. Really, if I was on death row, I'd come up with some crazy shit. You know what I mean? But like those are like off the top of my head, those are like my 2 favorite meals.
All right, and a drink to wash those down.
Dang, drink. Okay. See, this is the thought. A Topo Chico. Honestly, I'll just go classic.
Ooh,
I'll be bummed if I don't have a Topo Chico.
Nice.
Hell yeah. So if you could live in one fictional world for a week, where would you live?
Ooh, dang. Either any Ghibli movie. Maybe Princess Mononoke, or maybe one of the older Burton movies. I love the vibe. Let's say like I was gonna say Edward Scissorhands, but actually no, that would be bad. I like looking at it, but I would hate living in it. Beetlejuice. We'll do the Beetlejuice one.
Oh yeah, yes, absolutely.
That would be pretty awesome.
That'd be fucking awesome. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I've now asking the last question. Every single person that we've spoken to have said that it is the most important question. What's your favorite color?
Ooh, I'll go pink.
Hell yeah!
Specific shade of pink?
I always give a different answer, but my studio is like all pink, and that was a choice, so that must say something.
Hell yeah!
I'd say so. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you spend a lot of time in there too, so you're surrounded by pink. Yeah,
it had to be. If that's like probably just an inside look at my psyche. However, I decorated that studio is my true taste.
Yeah.
Yes.
So as I said, that's all.
South Park and a bunch of pink.
Oh, dude, I literally have a South Park blanket right behind me. Like you can
Really?
fucking see Kyle's. Yeah, look at him.
Oh
Right
yeah,
there.
I
He's
can.
literally right
That's
there,
so
yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
I've got like these I've got like stuffed versions of the Goth Kids and Towley
love
and
that.
Osimo all over
Yeah.
the studio. Yeah.
Dude, I have a fucking Towley towel. I have one where he's like fucking his eyes are like fucking bloodshot and he has like hair all over him. And then I have one where he's like clean.
Wait, I might. Is it like an actual literal towel that you use, or is
It's
it
like a hand towel, like what he
Okay.
is. It's like 2 hand towels, yeah.
I have
Yeah.
at my like the house I grew up in, at my parents' house, I have like hand towels and a body towel of Towley.
Dude, I need that fucking body towel of Towley. That shit's
I wonder if
awesome.
they're still sold. I got them a little while ago. It was a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I got mine because I just went to a convention. So I bought one of the mystery boxes and I just got
Yeah.
a South Park one. That's where I got like a mug and everything. And I got so happy when I saw that fucking Towley towel. Oh my God.
It's amazing. It's perfect brand. It's the perfect merch item for that character.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So as I said, that's all the questions you have today. Is there anything that you would like to plug?
I guess I have a record coming out on October 20th, and I have a new song coming out on, oh my God, on August 31st, I think.
Mhm.
Or something. Sometime around there. One of
Somewhere around
the
there.
last Thursday of August.
There you
Sounds
go.
good. All right. Well, thank you. Now it's been Harry for Moonwalker, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.